right here. There we go. So hi, if you guys do not know me, my name is Lauren Hawkins. I work on the Richardson I team. I work with the Richardson Learning Community. So that works with the high school, Richardson West, and a few of the elementary schools as well. If you didn't get a chance, just be sure that you have hidden your, you've muted your mic. I see I've got 32 people in here. That's wonderful. It looks like I have muted everybody. So just as a courtesy, that's very, very helpful. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is share my screen. Feel free to use the chat if you need. This is kind of how I'll be monitoring questions. If you'd like to unmute yourself, you can always do that as well. That can help. We made it. We're at the end. We're at the end. So I'm going to go and switch gears here so that you can see what I am seeing. Go ahead and switch. Okay. Let's see. Make sure everybody can see what I see. Hopefully so. Like I said, I'll be monitoring the chat here virtually to make sure if you have any questions, I will be on there. If you want, go ahead and head to that shortened link that's on my screen. You should see bit.ly, the A and let's make sure I'm okay. The A and the T are capitalized. They are case sensitive. So that is very important that you have that. I'm hoping in this session to kind of show you some really great features that Schoology has to offer you guys and really show you what this resource has available. So I know we only have about 45 minutes, so I really want to honor that time and try to answer some questions that you guys specifically have, but also try to show you some things that I have within this resource. You can also email me later and I'd be happy to share this resource again. If you need to email me, you'll see some buttons throughout the presentation. That's what these are. These actually are linked to my email. So right here, if you click on that, you'll see my Google email as well as my Outlook. If you have a preference, it's completely both of these. You can email me. You can also follow me on Twitter as well. I'm pretty active. I try to share as many tips and tricks as I possibly can, just because I tend to monitor that and follow that really closely. Looks like I already see a chat, so I'm going to pop open this window. So this is what I will be using to monitor as much as I can. Let's see. I'm not sure, Amy, what you mean by the email. I'm really sorry. If you could clarify, I'd be happy to help answer if I can. Yeah, if you could clarify, Amy, I'd be happy to answer. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So on this little box right here, this is actually a Google form. So if at any point in time you have a question or you'd like to meet with me virtually, whether that's through here or a different platform, or if I can answer any emails, that would be really helpful. All I'll need from you is just your first name and your last name. If you could put your Outlook, that would be great. If not, I'm not too worried about it because I can look you up. You'll see the questions that are required. Obviously, your first and last name I really need. The topic, so if you have a Schoology specific session question, choice boards as well, if there's something else that I didn't get a chance to talk about you have a question on. And then at the bottom, would you like to schedule a meeting with me virtually? If not, then I will just email you. So that is there. Please fill that out and I will try to answer as quickly as I possibly can. I've already got some requests, but that's on my little question box. If you haven't used this before, this is a Genially. So if you click on that pointer, it'll show you everything that is linked on every page. There are lots of hidden gems that I've kind of hidden throughout to help guide the discussion and share some resources, especially because we may not have time. I see. Let's see. I'm gonna bump this over. So hopefully thank you, Amy. So she was saying that she couldn't see because my chat bar was in the middle of the screen. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this in here as well. So for those of you that just joined us, because I'm gonna get started, so I just wanna be sure that I continue to share the resource that we're gonna be on. And then I'm gonna close this out so people can really be sure that they see what's on my screen as much as possible. But I will try to, still is. I guess I'm not entirely, let me double check and make sure that my screen is being shared correctly really quick. So I'm gonna hit stop sharing momentarily so that I can try to share, let's see, share my screen. And then I'd like to share my desktop. I'm gonna hit share. Okay, Hopefully that looks a little bit better. Perfect, Karen, thank you so much. Yes, if you click on the chat, you should be able to move it around kind of like what I'm doing on my screen. Thank you so much, Karen, for helping out. Amy, let us know if that didn't quite fix that problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick things off. So really briefly, some things I want to talk about is obviously be sure to mute your mic so that when others are joining in, there's not too many conversations happening. I'm going to honor that start and stop time. So I started at 3:15. I'm going to try to end by 4. If you still have questions or feel like you need some additional help over any session that you attended from the I-Team, we are hosting some Q&A sessions right after this. It is on that session board. I'll be sure to share that link if you didn't get a chance to. The chat is the fastest way for me to kind of see the questions that we have and respond. Also, it helps to get some peer feedback that way as well. I am hiding the video screen so that you can see my full screen. So if you're using a thumbs up or you can't hear, that's going to be a little hard for me right now. My intended outcomes for you guys are to kind of help you see the content and how to show you how to embed things within Schoology. I want to kind of show you assessments because it's one of those hidden gems that I think is really powerful. And then hopefully show you some additional resources that you can have a chance to access for today. I'm going to keep kind of opening up my chat periodically so you can see. I'll try to open it as much as I can. All right, so what this resource has for you are these are my 8 advanced skills. Each one of those pluses, you can see them kind of slowly wooing and eyeing on your screen. All of those are linkable and they will take you to the places. First thing I'm going to show you is the little look at me button right down here. So this is going to take you to my contact information. This is kind of going to show you how you can reach out to me, whether you are on Twitter. You do not have to be on Twitter to look at someone's account. So feel free to save that and look at some tips and tricks. My contact, this is going to send me an email. If you need to, this little star right next to the link, that's how you can bookmark this resource and save it for later. Again, anything on this gray will show you it's linkable, so you can see all the goodies that are hidden on this page. If you don't know what these tech tools are, feel free to link and click on them, and it'll let you explore. The back button is going to take you back to these 8 tools that you see right here. So that's kind of how the resource is going to work. Hi, Elizabeth. Great question for K through 2. So I just want to give some background. And if you are not already using Schoology with your students, I don't know if you would like to start using it now because it is a little bit more robust. I've been telling some teachers if you're already running a Google Classroom, you're already running a Seesaw with your students, that will be what works probably the best for them. Schoology does offer some great resources. However, it might be a bit much for your kindergartner through 2nd grade. You are more than welcome to stick around and kind of see what is involved just to see if it's something you're interested in using. I will say to Elizabeth's question that if you are using Schoology, all your students are already enrolled. They are already in your courses is what they call them. So we pull from Focus and we automatically generate the courses and enroll the students. And likewise, if a student drops from your role in Focus, they will also be dropped in Schoology. So that is definitely how that works as well. So thank you so much, Elizabeth, for asking that. So first thing I'm going to probably kick off with is how to embed some content. So this is a win for me in Schoology simply because I don't want my kids going to 20 different places to find something in all these open tabs and all these places. I'd like to try to keep them in Schoology if I can and just try to give them a housing so they're not kind of getting lost in the weeds with everything. So again, all of these buttons show you some tutorials that I'm going to go through with you. So I just want you to know what is here and what's hidden. So we're going to do some of these together, but I just want to pop them open just so you know what's there. So if you have a video in Drive, this is going to be the shortcut for you. If you have a link to a video, if you have a YouTube video and you want to embed that, if you have Quizlet, if you're using vocabulary with your kids, this will show you how to embed the Quizlet. Also, if you have Google Slides and you want to put it in a present mode, and then I've got lots of good information. So any of these is going to show you the quick tutorial on how to do it. So if you are somebody who likes to explore things on their own, feel free to explore this resource on your own. I'm not offended if you'd not like to stick around, but also feel free to stick around. So I just like to click at all the things so that you can really see what I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my Schoology just so that I can walk you through one of these examples. They're all very similar, but I would like to show you what it looks like. If embedded a YouTube video, will it only embed that one and not cycle? Yes, that is a great question from Karen. Yes, it will only embed the video. So let me show you how that works because Karen had a great question. So I'm just going to pull, this is a shell. So I just went to my courses. And then this is where you'll see all of your courses. Let me just kind of pause real here. So this is the picture that they all kind of start with. I'll show you how to change that so that it's a little easier to find your classes. The other thing that's kind of small and hidden, if you click on My Courses, you have the option to rearrange your courses. So if you want to put them in order from first period and second period, or all your English classes, all your math, things like that, it's a very drag and drop interface. So I can kind of reorganize this a little bit better. And then you'll see it kind of updated here. So that's My Courses if you need. So this is kind of what they all start off with. I just kind of did some testing right in my first class. You can always edit that picture just by hovering. I'm a big fan of editing that picture. I'm going to show you a great idea that I have for that picture a little bit later, but I want to be sure I stick to embedding content. So in Schoology, you have a couple different options. You have assignments where kids will submit. You have discussion boards, you have pages. Pages, think of it like content only, like a web page is the easiest way to think about it. So let's say I want to do a discussion with students, but I want them to watch a tutorial or I want them to look at a YouTube video before they even discuss. So I'm going to hit discussion board. And yes, all of the things that I'm showing you are in that resource, so don't feel like you won't have access to this later. So I'm just going to put discussion example. So here you can do prompts. You can do multiple prompts if you'd like. Ooh, having some trouble on the typing. You can obviously bold them. You can make them a lot larger for those kids. You can also highlight. So if you want to put prompt 1 in yellow, or if you want to highlight certain things that they do, highlighting is a really nice feature in Schoology. You can also attach a due date. Obviously that's in the past, so let's go to the future. You can add links to resources as well. I'll show you what one of my discussion boards looks like, but I just like showing you everything you can do. You can attach files, PDFs. You can do your own audio and video recording. So if you want to record yourself reading the prompt. To get the video embedded, you're just going to come to content. And you have a couple ways of doing it. I have the YouTube app installed. Some may not have that. So I'm just going to show you what this is one way to do it. So you'll see it automatically pulls up YouTube. So I'm just going to do equivalent fractions. Just let's see if there's a really good video here that I think I could really use. And it'll do some quick little searching. It'll take probably a minute because I know I'm using Zoom, so sometimes that can slow down the Wi-Fi's. And it'll actually pull up videos that you can select, which is really nice. Although it is taking a bit. Normally it does not take this long. Man, that's being a bit slow. I'm going to close that just to make sure it's not being too slow. I'm going to try that one more time. See if it comes back. Maybe I'll just do something simple, fractions. Normally it does not take this long, but my internet has been a little bit lagging today, I think, with all of the video conferencing. I'm sure some of you guys are seeing some of that technical difficulty. I'll try it this way. I'll just pull a video from Google Drive. It's the same thing, the way it'll work. So with Google Drive, it organizes by the most recent, and shared or team drives you don't have access to yet because of the permission. So if you have a team drive, you won't, or a shared drive, you won't quite see that. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. So it's just going to search for a quick tutorial. Okay, let's say this is a video that I want to share with them. So when I import, I'm just going to choose embed as the option. And then you'll see it go yellow, which is a little confusing, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit create just so that you can see it. And then when you hit it, you'll actually see the video embedded. Ta-da! No ads, nothing distracting the kids, just the one video that you need them to watch. Is kind of how that works. And you can always edit later as well. So you can always kind of go back and forth. If you want to enable grading, you can totally make it gradable. Make it a daily grade. Sync to SIS. This basically means when I've graded it, I want it to go to focus. So that's an option, but you can turn that off. You can do numeric, like do you get a 90, do you get 100, but you also can create a rubric to make it go super fast. So I can make a discussion rubric. So maybe I want to do promptness. Are we on time? And again, all of this you can change up. You can always add more categories if you need. So is it content? How are we building our community? I can always add more categories. I can delete some. You could also align it to TEKS. That's what the learning objectives is. So I'm just gonna hit create. And yeah, I want my students to see the discussion. I can choose whether it's hidden from students, so maybe I'm not ready to share it. You can also choose whether they're allowed to see their peers' responses before they participate. So that could be really interesting for your kids if you want to be sure they're responding before that. You can also individually assign things. So if I only want a certain number of kids doing this discussion board, things like that could be really helpful. That's kind of hidden throughout Schoology. You can also, the other way that you could do it for YouTube, since someone else asked, if you don't have this app, no fret. You'll just choose image and media. And then from the web, I'm going to choose media because it's a video. And then you can just paste the YouTube link here. And it works the exact same way. So that is a great option for embedding content. So that's good. Trying to monitor my chat, make sure we don't have questions. So if you want to know what that looks like, I can pull an actual discussion board to show you kind of embedding a video and links. This is just one of my Schoology courses. You'll see it looks slightly different. My picture is really big. I created this picture in Canva. I have linked that resource inside of the one that you have open. So you could do your picture, you could do the title of your course, you could do a picture of the textbook, you could do your tutorial hours, you could do your Remind 101 if you're using those text messages or any kind of thing. But I use Canva to kind of create this little tall graphic on the side so it's easy for kids. I'll talk about this banner here briefly, but I want to show you that discussion board first. So I highly recommend building folders in Schoology to keep everything organized for the kids. Also, when you're creating, if you hover between things, that's how you can add things above and below. If you need to organize anything, you can click on the folder and just drag and drop. So that's another really nice option that you do have just for quick organization for the kids. So this is what your discussion board will look like, or an example of one. So on here, we've got different text sizes. You can see the highlighting. I added a Bitmoji. Here's the tutorial video. This one's on YouTube. So again, no ads. It won't autoplay anything else. I've got some prompts. I have links that kids can use, or teachers in this case. And then here's my rubric that I'm using. So the good thing is if I just want to see how many times, oh, I've responded, it'll actually highlight so you can scroll and find all those responses super quick. When you're ready to grade, these checked means I've already graded them, but you'll just come and check on that box. Oh, look at my rubric. So now look at this, bing, I can just do this and look how fast I can grade. Done, full credit. That's it. I'm a big fan of the rubrics that are built in and embedded content. So what we just did, I showed you two advanced skills actually. We did the embedded content together and then we did the rubrics together. So both of those. The interactive banners is the one that I said I would come back to. You're welcome. banner. This is a tutorial video showing you how I did it. So if you're curious, it'll pop open with that tutorial video. What it actually looks like is I took a screenshot. This is what you just saw in my course. So again, I used Canva to create my banner just to give a couple reminders for the course, all that good stuff. And then you'll see all these buttons I've actually linked in Schoology to give a little bit of flow. So maybe an email button for the kids, maybe a button to the online textbook. But if they click on it, it'll take them to, this one happens to take to a tutorial page. So that is a really nice skill for kids to do. It's a little weird to try to create something like that. What I had to do is, you'll see I have this hidden page called a banner. And it's just a Schoology page that I created. I'll show you, if you kind of want to know how I did that. So here's adding a page. And I put everything that I created on this page. And it's unpublished because I don't want the kids to see it. And I'll go ahead and edit it so you can kind of see what it looks like. The tutorial video goes over all of this a bit slower than what I am doing. So I just inserted all my pictures like that. And then when I was ready, so like this button, I just pressed the link option in Schoology. So that's how I linked all those pictures and then inserted them. And then I had to copy everything that was on the page. I'm going to hit Save Changes. And to make it appear at the top of your course, you want to come over to Updates, which is right below your materials. Let's see if it's, and then what I did is I pasted all of that, so that picture, that table, all those graphics, and then I made it an announcement with this little bell, and that's how I pinned it to the top. So that tutorial video that's in that Genially, that's one right here, this walks you through the entire thing. So here's that watch. So I wanted to be sure that you knew that the tutorial video was in there, and I did see a question pop up on our chat. So let me pop this open briefly. Oh gosh, I'm gonna share the same thing. Okay, accidentally clicked the share button. That was weird. Let me open this up. Okay, nice. Oh, great question. Okay, so we have embedding. So somebody did ask, like, how do you add the apps in Schoology? That's a really great question. So I'm going to come over here so that you can see. What you'll go under is right here. You'll see these like 2x2 grids. You're going to hit the App Center, as that's where you can find them. Right there. And then you'll see lots of different things that you can bring in too. So you'll see like Google Drive. So I've got that one currently installed. Khan Academy, I have that one installed. Here's the YouTube one right here that I have. So all three of those I've installed so I can pull things in. That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. So again, that's those 2x2 squares, and then the App Center is how I did that. It's a great question. So we did a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and touch on assessments. I feel like this is a good bang for your buck. So on here, assessments are, oh, I see a chat really fast. Very nice. What benefit does installing the app give us? No, this is a wonderful question from Olivia. So she's asking, why would I want to install an app? How does that kind of give me some advantage? That's a wonderful question. So the reason I like installing those apps, so it was a little bit hard to see on mine because I was trying to show, but it didn't quite. But I think it just links a couple of the tech tools together so you're not having to bounce around and have multiple screens on at once. So let me try to embed maybe like a Khan Academy video. So this is a good kind of review of what we did. So here, Khan Academy. And you'll see it pops open a window to Khan Academy within Schoology. So it's one less window that I need to open on my computer. It does look like it's taking a little bit of time. I'm not 100% sure why, but part of it I think is just, okay. So here's maybe a video I want my kids to watch. Cool. Let's add that one in. Oh, look, now it's embedded. All done. That's why I like it. It just kind of eases my workflow a little bit. So I'm really glad that one was asked. Yes, so Karen was saying the last two questions weren't showing. Yes, so they sent me those questions privately. I just wanted to make sure that I shared, they were really good questions. I just wanted to be sure I shared it with everybody. Yes, but I love those questions. I want to be sure everyone got a chance. You'll see that individually assign option again for students. I do want to make sure that you are aware that you can individually assign an entire folder with students as well. So this is an example where I've done that. So you'll see I have 11 people are working on this folder, and then 18 people are working on this folder. So kids only see the folders that they need to work on. With folders, I will say when you create them, you have a lot of power over those folders. So when you edit them, you can choose how long kids are allowed to see them. So I like to use colors to kind of help. Oh gosh, my screen did it freeze? That sounds about right. I'm gonna refresh. Looks like it froze for a bit. So with folders, oh, see, there it goes. Oh man, still zoomed in a bit. Sorry. Oh gosh, what is happening? Sorry. Oh, I hope y'all aren't getting too dizzy on me. Okay, we're just gonna try this again. Looks like I'm still spinning. Terribly sorry for the hang up. Thank you. Hopefully people aren't getting too nauseous from that zooming in and out, or maybe it's just me. Let me try to back up a little bit. Looks like we're spinning here, which is okay. There it goes. So sorry about that. Thank you for hanging on with me. So you can choose when an entire folder is actually available. So is it only available on Monday through Friday? Do I want to publish on a start date? So that's similar to scheduling, which you see in Google Classroom. I also like to color code. So if it's a red folder, everybody needs to do it. Maybe the green folder is just extra practice, things like that. The other advantage to using folders is that you have these things called student completion rules. I'm just going to hover over that. So this is within a folder. And you can already see some of my rules in place right under here where it has students must view. So if it's a page of information or a video I want the kids to watch, I choose these rules to make sure that the kids watch it and check it, because it will show me which kids have opened it and which kids have not. So you'll see must view, and you can choose. So here's all the things that you can pick on. I love that you can also ask whether things could be sequential. So if you want the kids to go sequentially, like no, first you need to do this, then you do this. You can't like skip around and skip to the end. That's how you can prevent them from skipping to the end. But it has to be within a folder. It's the biggest thing. So what we're going to finish on, I know we're getting wrapped up on our time right here. It looks like we still got, okay, so till 4 o'clock, we got a little bit of time left. I went down a rabbit hole, unfortunately, but I'm going to end on something called assessments, because this is kind of where I feel like most are going to like it. So assessments are a little bit different than tests and quizzes, simply because your tests and quizzes are a little limited in what you can control and the types of questions that you can ask. So assessments, if you click on that, it'll ask you to give it a name. So I'm just going to put testing, assessments. You can give it a due date if you'd like. It's completely optional. You can choose whether kids can start submitting or if they're only allowed to do it within a certain window. You can also choose if it's password protected. And then I'm going to make this a daily grade. I can make this worth a double homework grade, a double grade. Also, you can choose whether it goes to focus. And you can also, this button is individually assigned. So only certain kids are going to do this. Not all my kids get to do this. Ooh, I see a question. So I don't want to move on. I want to make sure I address this really quick. After we're done with the session, can we have access? Yes, Frank, what a wonderful question. Yes, I will be sure that you have access to this recording. We are sending them to Morgan Crowder, and she's going to compile it for us. Thank you so much for asking. We will be sure that you get this recording. As a reminder, everything that I am doing is in our resource, so it does walk you through it. So we're on assessments. Here's reasons why I love them. Here's some more details. This is linkable. So I want to be sure that you do see kind of as I'm going through. So thank you so much, Frank, for asking that. Yes, I will be sure that this is available. I'm going to hit create. And here's where you're going to see your setup, your questions, your grading, your reporting, all of that. So you'll see that submissions are disabled. You'll see I can see a preview. This gives you the option so I can copy to a course. I can also print it, save it to resources, which is like my virtual filing cabinet. So if I want to save it for later and use it in another class. Not too bad. Oh, see two more. Let's be sure we check on these real fast. Oh, absolutely. Great question. So here, instructions. So you can type. You can also embed a video for your instructions. Hey, watch this quick video before you take this assessment. So that could be really helpful as well. You have symbols, equations, and LaTeX for math teachers. That's available for students and us. You can choose the time limit. So if they only have a certain amount, you can choose the randomly ordering. You also, can they eliminate answers? Can they flag? Can they use a calculator during the assessment? You can choose what happens. Are they allowed to see which ones they missed with the correct answers? Not at all. And you can also choose how many attempts. Maybe they get 3 attempts and the last score is the one I'm taking, or the highest score is the one that I'm taking. So that's all on the setup. Let's see. So Shar has asked from Hamilton Park, do you prefer Schoology over Google Classroom? Would this replace the need for Google Classroom? Can students access it through or only from the, great, wonderful questions from Shar. So I will say in terms of a preference, I think it depends what works best for you and what kinds of materials you're wanting to share with your students. So Schoology is going to be more robust. You probably already can see it has more features than Google Classroom does, but that's okay. It just depends. If you're using a lot of Google products, you are more than welcome to continue using Google Classroom. Schoology will have the benefit that it does pull from Focus and it does sync to the Focus gradebook, and you have more access to discussion boards and things like that. I wouldn't run, I think it's hard to run both Schoology and Google Classroom. It may confuse students, but I know some teachers who are doing that, so I won't say that it's not possible. Can students access Schoology as a link? So you could, one teacher in the previous session wanted to create a discussion board in Schoology, and she just linked that, like I think what she did is she kind of copied the link above and then shared that in Google Classroom, and she said that does work. So you could do that and just say, okay, this is where all of our stuff is. However, I do think they will need the app to access it. They might be able to go through the web though. So the app itself, I'm not 100%, they might be able to go through the web. So thank you for asking those questions from Hamilton Park. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save your changes. And then the questions. This is where all of the happiness is located. So not only do you have multiple choice, but you have true and false, you have matching, you have ordering, you have fill in the blank drop down, drag and drop fill in the blank, short answers, labeling an item. This is great for science. This is great for ELA when you're labeling a plot diagram. Great for socials. I mean, great for really anything, labeling vocabulary. Who doesn't like that? I'm going to show you highlighting and hotspotting because that's one that it's so underrated, but it's one that I've used frequently that I found a great joy in it. Oh, you're welcome. So I'm going to grab highlight hotspot really fast. So what this is going to do is you just upload a screenshot. It can be a picture, it can be something you already have. Let's say the question is, I want you to click on the picture where this is, or click on the quadrilateral, click on, if you're a CTE teacher, click on the spreadsheet where you would do this, or which of the following in the animal cell is this, click on it, click on the mitochondria, click on, if you're doing geography, this could be really helpful. Click on this country. So I'm going to say, click on this, something along there. You're just going to upload. So you need the screenshot ahead of time. So I'm just going to grab just a regular screenshot. It's not quite what we need, but I'm still going to just grab a basic picture just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And I'll show you what one looks like live as well. So I'm going to hit OK. So if I want to say, click on a checkbox, I don't know, something along those lines. So when you draw, you just click on the corner points. So like that's a spot kids could click on. So again, if you upload a picture of different science equipment, click on the flask, click on the thermometer, click on this symbol. And then below is where you would select the correct answer. So maybe that. Oh wait, this is the checkbox. You can also choose multiple responses as well. And that's kind of what it would look like. And I'm just gonna hit save. And then you can choose, okay, let's make it 5 points. I think I just opened it again on accident. I see a question. What type of quiz was that? Thank you, Karen, so much for asking. I'm gonna hit cancel. This is called an assessment. It's called an assessment. And then these are just under the question types. That was a highlight hotspot question. Highlight hotspot was that question. So I can actually show you what it looks like if you'd like. I'm gonna go to one of my old courses. You can see I still have those banners. Let me grab what it looks like. I'm gonna hit the welcome folder. So I did like a pre-check for this class. Again, where it was, so it's just under materials and it's just called an assessment. So it's right there under materials. It's that blue puzzle piece. And I'm gonna hit this just so that you could see an example, because sometimes it helps to see what it actually looks like. Oh, you're welcome, Karen, of course. So on here, you can see they're all worth 5 points. I can also preview, so I'll show you exactly what it looks like ahead of time. So this one, they had all these different attempts. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit start just so that it's a little easier to see what these are. So here you hit check all that apply. I can flag this question for review. Here's a matching one. So it's a drag and drop matching. This is the highlight hotspot. So which one will allow me to center a text horizontally? This one, why not? So that's kind of what the preview actually looks like from the student perspective. Live progress is if all the kids are working on it in class or at a specific time. It'll show the number they're on, how far they are, how much time they've spent, how many flagged items they have. I can also see which kids haven't started, which ones have already submitted. That's weird. Gotta love random pop-ups. Grading, this one, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. So you can see how many attempts each kid has. You can see how long it took them, when's the last time they worked on it and turned it in. You can go by student and check each individual's grade. So if I want to look at this student, make sure maybe did it grade her correctly? Do I want to award more credit? So that pencil allows you to change how much credit they've earned. Oh, okay, I see which ones we mixed up. That makes sense. And you can kind of go through each student at a time. You can also look at each question type, so I can see the average within each question. So this is a great option if I want to look at the high 5 and low 5 for my class that day. Ooh, I can really see which ones I got to go on. Life progress we talked about. Reporting is the last option. It just kind of gives you an overall class view. So it gives you a nice little box plot. Gotta love that. Any possible outliers, and then you could sort your overall student scores. Assessments are quite nice. They're one of the new features that I really like. And of course, once you make them, you can copy it to another class. One question that was asked in the last group, I want to be sure I share with this one, is what happens if I build my course and I want to save everything that I made and I don't want to have to, oh, sorry, that just popped up. Oh, okay. Failed, that's okay. Sorry about that. Let me do this. So under your main course, if you click on options, you'll see save course to resources. So this is going to be helpful when you're done with the end of the year and you want to save all that amazing work that you just did, because you don't want to have to recreate anything. So that's under just the top of your course. So it lets you save everything. So your resources, that's where all your personal stuff is housed. So you can see folders that I've made. Here's an old course. Here's a rubric that I made. So it's nice to build it here, and then I can disperse as I need. So you can always build things in your resources without having a course. The public one, this is kind of a great spot to end on, is you can see what other people have already shared. Oh, I think I'm here. Let me go ahead and make sure I mute everybody. There we go. So here you can actually pull in what what other people have done. So this person is sharing a badge that they did. So maybe I want to award people badges. Oh, this is a great for math teachers. Let me go ahead and click add, and now I can add it to a course. So it's a really nice option. You can filter by subject, you can filter by type and by level, if it's rated well. It's really, really nice. But that's under resources, under public. So that's definitely there. Oh, thank you, Olivia, for bringing that back. Adam, oh yes, sorry. Are there any features in Schoology that would allow students who speak another language to learn the material features? That's a really great question from Adam. So one of the things that you can do is anytime you have a discussion board, you have a page, you have an assignment, really anything that you're creating where, let me pull open like just an assignment. Oh my gosh, my computer is freaking out today. I'm sure you guys are experiencing some things on your end too. Let me edit this. So this is just an assignment, but I want to kind of show what Adam was talking about. So let's say I do have a student who speaks something other than English, and these are a lot of words for this student. You can see like, wow, that's a lot of words. What you can do is there's this mic option right here. So you can always record yourself reading anything that you have typed, and that can really help the kids listen. As far as translating, I don't believe that's an option. So if I type something in English on the kids' side, would it translate to their home and native language? I don't think so, but I'm happy to look into that, Adam. But this is a really nice option that you can always record your words and you reading a prompt to the kids. I think that's a really nice workaround that Schoology has. And that's built into assignments, discussion boards, pages, you name it. You have that option that's there. And then thank you, Olivia, for bringing that to my attention. Making sure that I answered that. So it says I have 5 separate courses. Had someone recommended creating a new Google Classroom for all the blah. What if you typed it into a translator and played the audio? That's a great option. Yes, from Olivia to answer Adam's question. So what if you typed it into a translator and played the audio? That could work. That's a really great option. Thank you, Olivia, for sharing that workaround. See, this is why we have to have everybody here. Hopefully that makes sense for a new online. I'm wondering for the importing grades. I don't know if the 5 separate courses. We're going to be creating a new Google Classroom for all blocks. Okay, so is there an option to view Schoology in another language? I'm not 100% sure about that, Veronica, but I am happy to look into that. If you could, on the very beginning, I see we're running quickly out of time. If you would like, on the very first screen that I showed, there's that little question box. If you could submit that question to me, and I will get with our Schoology coordinator and see if she knows if that is an option. Thank you so much for asking, Veronica. Shar, to kind of go back to your question, in Schoology, it already has created the courses. They're already shells. The hard part is Google Classroom doesn't automatically send grades to Focus the way that Schoology does. So you'd have to stay within Schoology, if that makes sense. I think. Okay, I see we do have 2 minutes left, unfortunately. I know we've covered a lot of variety of things. But please be sure that you do check out some of these other resources. We actually did talk about student completion rules briefly, but it is there. Google Drive assignments, to give you a quick overview, is similar to what you do in Google Classroom, where every student gets a copy. You can do that in Schoology, where every kid gets a copy and it attaches their name. Here's just some important information and how to create it. So I want you to be sure that you know it's there and what it looks like. And if you are somebody who is actively using Edpuzzle to add questions throughout a video, there's a way that you can embed Edpuzzle within Schoology, and those steps are here. If you've never used Edpuzzle, have no fear. There is a tutorial here. Haha. So I've embedded that as well. So if you have questions about Edpuzzle and how that actually works, there is a tutorial that's built out here and how to get it to sync with Schoology. I just want to thank everybody for joining this session. I got 1 minute left, so I'm going to go back to the main screen again, just so that you can get that link if you have it. Either jot that down. Like I said, feel free to hit that star at the top, and it's going to bookmark it for you, so you can always come back to this later. Always feel free to email me. I'd be happy to help answer any questions that you have, whether that's email me directly using this button, or if you want to fill out that form, that also works out as well. I will try to get back to you as quickly and as soon as I can. I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the iTeam Q&A. So I'm going to close this meeting out, and thank you so much for everybody that joined. I really appreciate your time, and I hope I got to answer as many of your questions as I possibly could. And I hope everybody has a great, great day.